Galana ilianguka kwa sababu kuna watu sabotage.
The flopped Galana-Kulalu project conceived 8 years ago in 2014 and buoyed as a masterstroke to resolve the recurrent food shortage in the country. The joint initiative between the Kenyan and Israeli government project officially came to an unceremonious halt in 2019. Yesterday, President Ruto ordered for the revival of the failed irrigation project, and the informal investigative team gives a blow-by-blow account of a white elephant project right from the inception. The direct multi-billion tender awarded in 2014 to twin Israeli firms, Green Arava and Agri Green, at a cost of 14.5 billion shillings, running up to 2018, was domiciled under the defunct National Irrigation Board (NIB), now National Irrigation Authority (NIA). Our investigations further established the consultancy for pre-feasibility study and designs was inflated from the initial cost of 793 million to a tune of 920 million shillings. Green Arava is the parent company for Agri Green Consulting, which undertook a 920 million consultancy on the irrigation technologies for the project inception. At least 50 companies were contracted to carry out bush clearing and other preparatory activities to a tune of 400 million shillings. According to official records at NIA, the estimates indicate the farm and irrigation system will gobble 3.5 billion shillings of the 14.5 billion model project. Knowledge and Logistics Center will cost 3.8 billion shillings. Piping will take up to 846 million shillings. Operations and maintenance will go to a tune of 3.4 billion shillings and taxes to a tune of 2.3 billion shillings. At the time, Engineer Daniel Baraza was the managing director at NIA, while the current Athi River Water Works Development Authority Chief Executive Officer Engineer Michael Mwangi Dhuita was the site engineer at Galana-Kulalu. According to documents in our possession, on August 15, 2014, NIA awarded 14,545,106,963 shillings to Green Arava Limited, the Israeli conglomerate, for the construction of 10,000-acre model farm at the Galana-Kulalu Food Security Project in Tana River and Kilifi counties in the coastal region. We established the letter of offer was issued on August 8, 2014, with pre-contract negotiations taking place the following day against a background of August 11, 2014 deadline for the submission of the tender documents and the opening of the documents done on the same day. A day after the 14.5 billion contract was signed, the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture raised the red flag, contending the government had sanctioned the controversial deal without first securing the 11 billion deficit that the Israeli government was expected to pump into the project. Earlier on, before the award of the consultancy, Agri Green Consulting, working in a consortium with the local firms Amiran Kenya and Environplan, had mooted a joint proposal on concept towards the implementation of the 10,000-acre model farm. Agri Green was to test the technologies that would be recommended and specifically harness the concept of the development of Galana-Kulalu Food Security Project. The 14.5 billion shillings deal essentially envisaged the rehabilitation of the 1 million acre area under the Galana-Kulalu Green Food Security Project. The project will see the eventual hiving of the substantial portions of land under sugarcane farming, with maize production, horticulture, cattle rearing, dairy farming and fruits consuming the rest. Agri Green was to further develop the 10,000-acre pilot project to be run by the government of Kenya as it test runs myriad concepts. During the initial phase, a dam was to be constructed to aid the irrigation activities. With a projected total cost of 450 billion, an equivalent of 4.5 billion US dollars for the 1 million acre scheme, the 14.5 billion shillings, an equivalent to 165 million US dollars, a 10,000 acre model project anticipated to be in the region of 165 million dollars, an equivalent of 11 billion shillings injection from the Israeli government, the Kenyan government having set aside 40 million US dollars, equivalent to 3.5 billion shillings. The pilot 10,000-acre model farm was poised for upgrading tenfold to 100,000 acres in the second phase, culminating in the completion of the intended 450 billion shillings 1 million acre irrigation scheme by 2017. And in yet another twist, a consortium of consultants hired by the government noted that the cost of the project could shoot to 1.45 trillion shillings when the 1 million acre project comes to an edge. The study report, handed over to the then Water and Irrigation Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa, noted that the 135.6 billion shillings required for the water conveyance system, 122 billion shillings for the dam, and 6.4 billion annual pumping costs were not factored in the initial budget, hence the expected rise in the cost. NIA also put up to tender notice seeking to contract a firm for the construction of dams, staff houses, and an electric fence for phase 2 of the food security project. However, Agri-Green Consulting, American Kenya and Environ Plan Management Consultants noted that the water available in the Athi and Galana River can only irrigate 402,000 acres, barely 40% of the envisaged 1 million acres. The consortium warned of the gigantic enormity in capital costs of the pumps, steel pipes, reservoir and running costs of pumping huge volumes of water through 2-meter diameter steel pipes for any distance beyond 250 kilometers. The project faced delays and controversy surrounding the misappropriation of funds, leading to its termination in 2019. The Israeli government expressed disappointment with the failure of the project. Now, President Ruto's administration plans to revive the project through a public-private partnership PPP with the National Irrigation Authority NIA.
Mimi nataka niwahakikishie Wakenya, ile Galana ndani ya miezi miwili mitatu nitaanza kujenga damu pale Galana, na tayari kuanzia hii Februari zile ekari 10,000 ambazo tayari tulikuwa tumeifanya kama model farm 10,000 acres na iko mpaka na pivot. Hapo tutaanza kuzalisha chakula mwaka huu.
Under the new plan, an initial 10,000 acres will be developed for crop production starting in February, followed by an additional 10,000 acres within the next 6 months. Ruto said the government will work out a model for public-private partnership food production on the 350,000 acres to be ready in 6 months, and directed the relevant government agencies to execute the project in good time. The government will also commence the construction of a dam in April in order to bring an additional 350,000 acres under production. However, earlier studies by Agri-Green Consulting, American Kenya and Environ Plan Management Consultants noted that the water available in Athi and Galana River can only irrigate 402,000 acres, barely 40% of the envisaged 1 million acres. Ruto previously termed the project's failure as a political mistake and has expressed support for its revival. The president has also revoked the intended subdivision of the Galana-Kulalu irrigation project. In a statement yesterday, the head of state said the 10,000 acres would instead be worked on to produce maize beginning February 2023. Stanley Lugaria, The Informer, uncovering the truth.